Welcome to Power Up with NSA North Texas, a show about finding, hearing, and maximizing valuable insights from some of the world's leading business and lifestyle speakers. Each week, international keynote speaker and National Speakers Association North Texas Chapter President Betty Coffey sits down with some of the most exciting speakers this side of the globe to hear from these subject matter experts what's making a difference in business today and learn all there is to know about people, profits, and productivity in business from some of the world's best motivators. This is Power Up with NSA North Texas. And now, here's your host, Betty Coffey.
Hi everyone, I'm Betty Coffey, President for the National Speakers Association North Texas Chapter. The National Speakers Association is the premier organization for professional speakers. Our speakers reach clients around the globe every day as motivators, as consultants, as coaches, as humorists, as authors, as speakers. And we're talking about the cutting edge topics that are important to business today. What are the issues? What are the problems? What are the topics that organizations want their employees to hear? They reach out to our own NSA, National Speakers Association North Texas Chapter, for our subject matter experts. Our people that have the answers, our people that go on out there are speaking it every day. And I am so excited today to have as my guest, Michael Hoffman. Good morning, Mr. Michael.
Good morning, Betty. Thanks for having me.
You got a good
I'm
radio
very
voice.
excited.
Listen to this voice. Michael is going to be talking to us about creating a culture of positively outrageous service. What are the habits? What are the habits of any organization that creates and sustains a culture of positively outrageous service? There's got to be a key. There's got to be a formula. He's going to tell us about that. And how can we use this to create an experience in the corporate and leadership world today that gets people to work with saying, wow, and turning customers and and people they work with into raving fans? What's that wow factor? Michael is a partner of the Positively Outrageous Service Incorporated. It's a Dallas-based company that specializes in helping organizations create the experience that makes their customers say, what? Wow. Over the last 25 years, Michael has delivered professional speaking engagements and customized training to organizations and companies across the country and abroad. His clients, you know what? His clients are any organizations that have customers. Oh my gosh, that's everybody out there.
Yeah. Especially when that interaction and that experience is everything. That's really, if you are focusing on that customer interaction, boy, you are right up our alley.
I agree. You're going to love Michael today. He has an incredibly strong interactive style. He has a very unique delivery that cements the expertise and the minds of attendees of his programs to ignite the tactics and techniques necessary to own their jobs on purpose with an attitude of ownership. I love that. Ownership. I never heard that before. Ownership and professionalism. Michael uses his rich background to drive home his message that business is and always will be about people. Mm-hmm. And if there's one thing I know about Michael Hoffman, he really truly cares about people. How we approach our customers, both internally and externally, will set us apart from all of our competition, as usual. And that's why we're going to hear about being positively outrageous. It sets us apart. Professional speaker to the world. That's right, you do speak to the world.
Yes.
He is husband to what he lovingly refers to as the perfect one. His wife, she's lovely.
She is.
He is the fatherman to the fabulous four. He is Papa to the amazing Grand Trio. I want to hear about the Grand Trio. And he is the lover of the laugh. And okay, he has been known to also love his donuts. So
We've added kolaches.
Kolaches.
Yeah,
Kolaches
I'm a big fan now.
Of today.
Really big fan.
Michael, welcome to the program. I am so happy you are here.
Thanks. I'm so glad to be here too.
And we're going to be talking about creating a culture of positively outrageous service. We are in desperate need of that. So, why positively outrageous service? Why?
Well, I think we are in a situation now where the interaction between people is tremendously heated. I mean, so even now, social media or on the news or in our neighborhoods across the world, you see the interactions of people constantly being promoted as hostile and challenging and just so filled with emotion. But it's always been that way. And so I think we need whenever that type of voice rises, it calls for a time where that counter voice needs to rise. Like I like to say, the darker it gets, we just need more light. And so that's what Positively Outrageous Service is about basically kind of fanning the revolutionary-ness of owning that experience to just be positively outrageous
and
service
it's never
in a
going to
world
go
that
away.
needs it. No.
Oh, yes.
No.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's
Always
never going to go
needed.
away.
No.
No matter what the business is, no matter who or what generation is supporting clients, we've got to have positively outrageous service.
Yes, and every once in a
Makes a
while we need a
difference.
revolution. It needs to be that rejuice, and it's time to rejuice it.
Is it time to rejuice?
Oh, it's time to rejuice.
Okay, so tell me about
that a word?
your partners, T. Scott Gross and Andrew Zasbo. Tell me about them and why you've partnered with them and what you guys do. Zabo.
Yeah, Sabo. I know that it's
Sabo.
SC. He's Hungarian like me. You know, it's that European. And when you talk to him too, we make a great team because he's got the, you like the tone of my voice. You should hear Andrew. He's got the accent. So he's got the speech impediment with the English accent, which everybody goes, I will listen to you. So
Just the way you talk.
Yeah, I had to live with that. My partners, T. Scott Gross and Andrew Sabo, are just amazing, just men of influence, especially in the service industry. T. Scott Gross is the author of the original book, Positively Outrageous Service, in the 80s, and it sold almost 300,000 copies since then. It's in its third edition. And even though the book was revolutionary back in the 80s, and we'll talk about the impact that it's had, we've really come to know that every once in a while you need to have that re-revolution. And now is that time. And so T. Scott asked Andrew, who has been a speaker himself for the last couple of decades,
Great guy,
and myself, who've been around for about 25 years, to basically come together as a team to say, where do we take this next? And how do we take the concepts of being positively outrageous service in our approach and make it for the times, the 2000s? How is it different? What do we need to do? How do we re-revolutionize it? And so we formed a partnership that we think is pretty special and is part of that. We want to spearhead that revolution.
I know you and I know Andrew, and wow, what great two personalities are going to fill the room.
That, yeah.
So tell me about what you've done with Southwest Airlines and why you guys like Southwest Airlines and Dave's Chicken.
Well, that actually, Southwest Airlines is a great example of positively outrageous service being used. When T. Scott actually originally wrote the book, Positively Outrageous Service, it was taken by several organizations as sort of the foundation. And one of the things that we love about Southwest is their uniqueness to their customer experience. There is no doubt whatsoever that these guys approach the industry of serving the airlines customer very, very uniquely, and that was because they took the concepts of the book and they created their own. They even call it the POS way, POS Southwest way. It's in all of their training.
And POS is
positively outrageous service.
Yes.
So they created their positively outrageous service the Southwest way, and it revolutionized the industry. And there are several organizations that have done that. That's the most famous. So we want to basically help other organizations take these concepts and bring them into their organizations and help them re-revolutionize that customer experience on all levels.
And you can do that, right?
Oh, we
you
can
don't
do that.
have to be Southwest Airlines, which is a legacy now. Yeah. You can do it no matter who you are and what your organization is, right?
What I think the fun part is that not only can you do it now, the creativity in how we do that now it's the Wild West, Jack.
Yes.
I mean, when you take the concepts of creating an experience where people walk away going, "Wow, this is why I shop here." That's the goal. That's the simplified goal, and how you do that is it's so Wild West. Right? I say Wild West. In other words, it's not invented. Where we're going now with social media and with everything else, it just opens up the doors to the experience, to creativity that I think just kind of makes most of us creatives just juice out. Is that a word?
So it is now.
Word, yeah.
It is
We're
now.
juicing out on that, Jack. This is positively outrageous.
So let me ask you a question. What is the difference between a good service experience and a good service interaction?
Yeah, experience and interaction. That's a really good definition. I always put it under one term. You talk about the customer experience, and I had a really great friend of mine, a speaker and a trainer in the same industry, and he said, well, what you're really talking about, Mike, especially my area of expertise, what I bring to the trio, my expertise is in that interaction. I teach, that's why you hear own it. I try to ignite people and equip people to own that interaction.
Right.
What do I say? What do I do to have impact? But there's a difference between the experience and the interaction, because when you're talking about, from a customer's point of view, the experience is everything. It's the color of the room. It's the font that we use on our product. It's the way that we're greeted at the door.
Right,
It's the toilet experience. I am not joking. If you read the book, you'll get an example of this or the story behind it. But basically, it's keeping your customers in mind in how they perceive themselves when they're with you. So, for instance, we just went to a restaurant last night where the wait was about 45 minutes, and it was a joy. Because
the wait that long was a joy.
It was a joy because not only did we have a very specific section to stand in, which was outside of the restaurant, it was actually in the open air, but there were the ambiance. You almost thought you were at a cocktail party, and they had little snippets of food to taste and walk around as you were just standing there waiting for your table. It was very smart. Tremendously smart. So they formed a little cocktail experience before we actually went and sat down. And this is not a high-end restaurant. This was very, very specific. And that's what I'm talking about. So the experience is not just how I talk to you. It's everything an organization presents when they're dealing with people. And that can be internal and external. Our customers.
And that could go both ways,
yeah, absolutely.
too.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. How my company treats me as an employee is just as important. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to be outrageous at all.
So by 2020, 80% of companies out there, are they really paying attention to customer service? Why is service so important now than ever before?
Well, you see it in so many articles. I read it in Fast Company. I think it was 2017. Had an article that really caught my eye, but I see it all over the place. Something to the effect of by 2020, which is next year, 80% of all of the money that is brought in to an organization. I've heard it said this way, where by 2020, 80% of the people will use customer experience as a buying proposition over price. It's tremendously important. Yes. It's
so
why
I'll be willing to pay a lot more money just because of this service and the comfort level I have and the phenomenal opportunity I'm getting.
Think of the last time you actually made a major purchase where you said it doesn't come down to pennies. It's always about how I feel about me doing business with this organization, and I will spend money because of that experience. And I think in our very near future, Fast Company was talking about 2020. I think it's already happened. Where think about it. The customer experience. We are so connected in this world through the internet and everything. We go to total strangers for our experience judgments. Instead, we used to go to the experts. We used to go to the car salesman to say, "Tell me about cars and what I need to know to make a purchase." Now we go to total strangers. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And the power of the connection on the internet is all based on experience, because that's what they're giving. They're giving, this is my opinion. This is what I experience. This is my experience. So the need to have an exceptional, positively outrageous experience to the people that do business with us is everything, because we talk. We do. We will talk. You remember the old adage back in the day? Well, I think it was a Tuesday. Back in the day, we used to say that a negative experience was going to get out at least 250 people. A positive experience was going to be 25. That type of ratio.
Oh yeah, we thought that was a lot.
And we thought that was a lot. Now it's thousands, millions. I have a bad experience, everyone's going to know. What's the number? The number is everyone. That's the number. So how we use our systems and processes and how we ignite our people to really own that interaction has been more important now than ever before.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you've always been such a successful speaker, and you're just a leader in the field. You truly are. So many people look up to you. Talk to me about this. I know Michael Hoffman well enough that you would not want to be talking about a topic and to make this type of an investment in something that you truly did not believe in. So what got you involved? with outrageously great service?
Well, I've always been, my platform, my area of expertise, as we say in the biz, has always been about people. It's the tactical communication skills. What do I say? What do I do in this situation to be a person of influence? That's what I've always brought to organizations. I'm not a strategist. I'm not going to tell you how to grow your organization. I'm not going to talk to you about investments. But there's a reason why your team comes together or falls apart, and it's usually you. So let's start there. So let's talk about the skill sets that we have to influence people. That's my area of expertise. Well, that's where I've built a career on. And as Scott gathered his team together to say, we want to revolutionize positively outrageous service, it was an immediate connection because Andrew not only has those skill sets, but he also has the marketing background and Scott's expertise in creating this template of how to create a positively outrageous service culture. All of us coming together was just so enticing. And so impactful to organizations that I said, yeah, I'll be a part of that explosive idea. You bet.
What a trio. What a phenomenally strong trio.
I'm very blessed.
You cannot get the best. I mean, you cannot get better, in my opinion.
Great people.
When it comes to customer service and working with you guys. So give me an example that really makes an impact on you as far as how a service experience has made a true difference.
Oh my gosh, pick your favorite restaurant, pick your favorite hotel, pick your favorite, anytime you do business with an organization, think of the ones that you say, these are the good ones. And you're going to come up with an example. I'll give you one. I was just on the road. One of my favorite stories is I flew into Amelia Island, which is a really fancy place out in Florida. I love it. I love doing leadership conferences out there. And I was flying into, I believe it was a DoubleTree out on Amelia Island. And you have to go through the gate. And the guard, welcomes you, and they say, "How you doing?" And who you checking? I go, "Yes, I'm just." I didn't even give them my name. I just told them I was checking in today, and they wrote down the car, a rental car, and then they took off, or they let us take off, and we drove around the compound and drove up to the front of the hotel, and I got out of the hotel. I got out of the car and I walked up the steps, and there was a bellhop meeting me, and he says, "How you doing, Mr. Hoffman? Good to see you. Welcome back." What?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm thinking, first of all, how do you know my name?
Yeah.
Who I am. Yeah. So that perked my ears, because this is what I do, and perked my ears. And I went, wow, good for you. And he gives me a smile, and he grabs my bags and helps me up, shows me over to the front desk area. And I was already checked in. In fact, she came around the corner. She says, all we need is your credit card for incidentals, but everything's checked in. She gave me my card. It took 5 seconds, and off I went. And I asked the bellhop, I said, how'd you know it was me? Mm-hmm. And he goes, we're magic. And I said, yeah, you are. Yeah, absolutely, you are. It's really not magic. It's the systems and processes. Something happened at that gate. They knew I was coming in. They knew the airline I was at. So but they had systems and processes in place, and everybody knew what their role was. That's why it takes real thought into creating an experience where you get out of a car, someone comes up out of the blue and says, welcome, Mr. Hoffman. I feel like a VIP.
Yes.
I'm just a guy. I'm a dad. Good. I'm a papa. I'm a grandpa, and I'm away from my kids. I'd rather be there with them than you. But I'm glad I'm here now. It's fantastic. It's
you knew
fantastic.
Me.
That was wow. You don't get that everywhere.
No, you're right.
Yeah, that's an example of what I think is just off the charts fun. And it's really about systems and processes, and about people owning that experience.
Yes.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. It's a phenomenal experience. Yeah. It's better than, we've always heard the Zappos, the Amazons, the Googles, they always stand out. I've got a couple of my own restaurants that I love that make you feel good. You're right. Those are the ones you always want to go back to. You do.
I like the ones that know my name.
That's right.
Yes, I do.
So I'm pretty sure our audience is figuring out what's so special about you. But what do you possess that makes you so different, that absolutely separates you from everyone else? Because I think I know what you're going to say, and it is so true, because you live this every day 24/7.
Well, I think...
I don't want to be setting you up for something, but it's true. What makes you so wonderful? Let me give you a hint.
My wife will tell you something different. Boy, that sounded rude. That totally went off the way they wanted to go. Mainly because she's lived with me for 37 years, and she went, he's not that great. I think one of the joys that keeps me in this particular arena and keeps the freshness, I think, is because it's about joy. It's about the heart of a servant, you know.
That's right.
That's what service
That's
is
right.
about. It's about having a heart of service, and it's about having a desire to take ownership of the person in front of me. I really appreciate when you're in that situation where the mere mortal would run. I am not the easiest customer right now. I know you can sense the stuff that's coming off of me, and you decide to make the choice to be present with me and to handle me and to not take it personally, and all those little choices that at the end make me go, I'm so glad I got you. that person has the heart of service. You have to have something. Not everybody has that. You know, not everybody has that, and that's and so there's that balance between having a heart of service and adding the skill sets to it. We can all build skills, but I want to bring a sense of people need to be for people. It's not rocket science, but we have to be for each other, and I think our world needs that right now more than ever. You know, and so you're going to get a little passion from me.
I love it. A little.
you
I
are.
love it. You are passionate. He is such a passionate guy, and you really truly make a difference because you do have that heart of service. You really truly do. So when a client wants to work with you, how do they work with you? How can they reach out to you? What can a client expect when they call Michael Hoffman and say, okay, I want to do something about a positively outrageous service in my company? What can they expect?
Well, they can expect us having a full spectrum of what do you need. We're vision creators, or actually, we want to help you launch your vision. I want to be a vision interpreter. You know, every organization has a desire. They have, here's where we're going and why we're going there, and then there's that connection between what we want and the people who make it happen. And that is where you need that expertise and that help. So you have you have an opportunity to bring somebody from the outside like us in, and no matter what you need, we're able to do it. So let me just back up and tell you the general concepts of positively outrageous service. There's basically 3 principles that POS is built on.
Yes.
You know, 3 principles. And if I could have the slide come up, it's on the pillars of POS. You know, the pillars of POS are basically, it comes down to random and unexpected. It's teaching people to be in the moment and to really be present in what can I do that people aren't expecting, where it creates that wow experience. Or it's that invitation to have the customer play, because we know that emotion and that emotional experience is everything to what we remember. You know, the old adage, it's not what you told me, it's how I felt that I'll remember.
Yes.
You know, so that's paraphrased, of course.
How
That's
you
really
made me
important.
feel.
Yeah,
Yes.
and the other one is it's out of proportion to the circumstances. In other words, positively outrageous service is not doing your job. We all have things that this is what our job means and this is what it entails. That's not positively outrageous service. It's all those other things. It's random and unexpected. It's that playful moments. It's that totally out of proportion to the circumstances. Those create those moments where people walk away saying, I am going to talk about this. It's the things that you can't help but talk about. Yes. So you get it out there. Okay, now with that built, show me the next slide, which is, well, this is what an organization does on purpose to create a positively outrageous culture. Because you need a culture. It's not, we may have our the people that get the plaques every year, but it's an organization that can create a culture of people that understand this is how we do it. This is what we do. Southwest Airlines, everybody talks about Southwest Airlines, especially in the early years, that they had, everybody lived this. You lived it. Herb Keller, he lived it.
Oh, yeah. He embodied it.
He embodied it. He spoke it. It came from his pores. You know, the man had a scent that said positively outrageous service. So it was a culture. How do you create a culture? And we created 7 habits of an organization. So no matter where you're at, it's either revitalizing your culture or helping you find out where the holes are in the culture or helping you create it from scratch, a positively outrageous service culture. And so we've got 7 habits that we work with organizations: enlisting the right people, basically finding those people that have we call them service naturals, have that servant's heart. So because there's certain people that we want to have own the customer experience. They're up front. They're the ones that you hear. You know, anybody who's answering the phone has to know everything you say, everything you do is everything this company says. You are the CEO.
That's right. That's
So
right.
how do we hire the right people? That's critical. Then, of course, we've got igniting the leadership. There's an old saying that says the fish stinks from the head. So, yeah, that's you, possibly. So what can we do to get our leadership on board? That it's more than the numbers. I know that you've been hired to work a business, but the fact is that you are championing, is that the word? Culture. And so what can we do to get our leadership on board, ignite the leadership? Then we equip the management, because one of the biggest challenges of an organization is we may have the vision set up to be positively outrageous, and we've got our people to be excited and ignited about having fun with the customers and totally unexpected and random. But there's this little hourglass problem area, and that's the managers who are trying to do everything in the world and model and live the positively outrageous service. So how do you coach? That's where the rubber meets the road. What can we do to equip our managers on not only how to champion it, but how do you coach to it? How do you manage to it? How do you keep your... Oh, yes.
That's important.
To me, that's the biggest one. That's where most companies have the challenge of doing that, because that's where you make it real. You keep it going. It goes from a motivational pep talk into, no, these are the behaviors.
Right.
And we hold people accountable for it. Yeah, we can help you with that. And then we got to engage the employees. How do you get them to buy in? And of course, you've got to set up management. You've got to set up that the way we measure. How are we doing? And there's lots of ways of doing it. We use net promoter scores, all kinds of ways that say the customer service is physical. We can monitor it, finding the gaps and fixing the gaps along the way. And of course, how do you celebrate it? A culture is based on what we tolerate and what we celebrate.
This is true.
Yeah, and those are the
get
ways
it to continue to happen over and over again.
You betcha. Who was the person that said, motivation? No, we don't need motivation every day, but it's like breakfast. You should have a little bit every day. I think that was Zig Ziglar.
I love that.
Tony
Zig
Robbins,
Ziglar.
one of those guys that it changes lives. To me, that was a bumper sticker I got to knit on a pillow. That was fantastic. That's a good one. I will take that one, absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to. I don't want to run out of time, and I want you to talk about the book, Positively Outrageous Service. So tell me about that.
Well, this is the book. It's the third edition, Positively Outrageous Service. That's my book. It's fantastic. Yeah, T. Scott Gross. So this is the original. However, we've updated it with Andrew Szabo and Michael Hoffman. We are coming out with a book too.
Oh, good.
So yeah, that'll look in
that.
the future. But as of right now, oops, sorry about that for your ears. Positively Outrageous Service is in its third edition, along with Andrew and myself, that we've added and contributed to it. Positively Outrageous Service is still a revolutionary book on how to create and how to deliver positively outrageous service.
The basics are still there.
They're still there. We've updated it. Andrew's contributed. I've contributed. Because customer service has really opened up the doors to so many new things. How do you do customer service with the internet the way it is? How do you do it online? How do you do it, globally? We're more global now than we've ever been before. How do you do it generationally?
Yes. That's
How do you do
it?
Yeah, with different cultures.
Think differently. Yes,
yeah.
I agree
Get the
with
book.
that. How
Good
can
book.
people get your book?
Well, you can go on Amazon. You can get it through Amazon, of course, or you can give us a call at positivelyoutrageousservice.com and purchase it that way, or get it that way. We'll be glad to get it to you.
Wonderful. Do you have any, and if people want to know any special events or anything coming up, they just go on out to your website?
Yes, positivelyoutrageousservice.com.
So positivelyoutrageousservice.com, and your own email address?
My own email is michael@positivelyoutrageousservice.com. Now, I know there's a slide that we're going to show that's got my personal speaking website.
Okay.
Which will, in our next phase, will be integrating everybody into the POS website. But right now it's ignitingperformance.com for my keynote.
Say that one more time.
ignitingperformance.com.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Okay.
but reach out to me at michael@positivelyoutrageous.
And if I want to do it the old-fashioned way, what's your phone number, sir?
214-552-6288. Give a call. I will answer personally.
This has been so much fun. Is he not wonderful? Is he not fun to be with? I mean, he's just been great. So, Michael. No, you're not done yet. Now's the tough part.
Is it over?
If there's one valuable message that you want to leave our listeners with today, and remember, what is it?
I want you to remember that positively outrageous service is a choice. And we're trying to fan the revolution of being positively outrageous. I think our world and our cultures around the world, especially in our country, has some real dark moments, and the darkness kind of feels a little heavy sometimes. And I've always been taught that you'll never be able to extinguish the light. That darkness isn't a thing. As a matter of fact, it's an absence of a thing. It's an absence of light. So positively outrageous service is really just a call to sort of own the person in front of you and be more light. We need to be brighter, and that's the revolution we're trying to just fan again.
I love
it's that now more than ever we need to be positively outrageous.
What a tremendous message.
Thanks, son.
You've been a wonderful guest.
Thanks.
Thank you. And thank you all.
You've been positively outrageous.
Not as positively outrageous as you. Listen to this positively outrageous camaraderie going back and forth. Anyway, thank you, Michael. You've done a great job today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Betty.
And thank you for joining us. Please come on back next week to NSA North Texas podcast as we power up to continue to be better, to be faster, and to be stronger. Thank you. Have a great week.
Thanks,
and
Betty.
you. Thank you.
Thanks, Betty. I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to Power Up with NSA North Texas. To find out more about today's guest or NSA North Texas, visit www.speaker.org. To find out more about Power Up, visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/groups/NSA North Texas. And to find out more about Betty, visit www.bettycoffeepresents.com.